tonight, plane tragedy. A chief flying instructor identified as one of 2 killed in a horror crash on the mid-north coast. The Australian dollar plummets to its lowest level in years, putting a rate cut in jeopardy. Beautiful but heartbreaking scenes from a Central Coast beach as loved ones paddle out in honour of a mate. A teary Nicole Kidman makes a heartfelt dedication to her late mother at the Palm Springs Film Awards. And a win for Australia at the SCG as supporters don pink for Jane McGrath Day.
This is NBN News with Lauren Kempe.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a tragic update on a light plane crash south of Nambucca Heads. The bodies of 2 men have now been recovered from the wreck, one of them identified as a seasoned flying instructor. It's the second aircraft crash to occur on the mid-north coast in less than a week.
It should have landed safely at Southwest Rocks, but instead, this light aircraft is in pieces. One of its wings laid under a blue tarp after a tragic crash late yesterday.
It's about 4 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Emergency services responded to the coastline just south of Nambucca Heads after witness reports of a plane crashing into the ocean.
It's understood the Sting S4 departed a private airstrip in Coffs Harbour at around 3:30 p.m. before losing control just under half an hour later, crashing into the ocean 1 kilometre east of Gunma. Witnesses today recalling the tense moments in the lead up to the disaster.
It was very low, which was, I knew that's not right considering we don't get much plane action around here. And going by the sound of it, it didn't sound too good. Like it sounded as though it was struggling.
A tragic update soon followed. Both the pilot and his passenger had been killed.
A gentleman of age 69 and another gentleman age 67.
Today, confirmation one of the men was Mark White, chief instructor for Coffs Harbour-based flying school, Mid-Coast Micro Lights. It's been a tragic start to 2025, with this being the second light aircraft crash on the North Coast in just 6 days. A Coffs Harbour man was killed last weekend when his plane went down north of Grafton. The bodies of both men have since been removed from the aircraft. Crews working throughout the day to salvage the remaining aircraft debris under challenging conditions.
Obviously, with anything in the ocean, we're struggling with tides and movement of debris. We do have on scene at the moment, we have the water police from Coffs Harbour, plus police divers that are trying to recover the wreckage of that light aircraft.
Investigators now tasked with finding out just what went so horribly wrong. Alison Paul, NBN News.
The search for a fisherman missing off the Illawarra coast since Friday had to be called off today due to rough seas and forecast storms. 60-year-old Tony Andalero's boat was found empty and drifting off Windang Island near Warilla, triggering a multi-agency search. Hot and humid conditions have made it more challenging for those involved in the search of a missing bushwalker in Kosciuszko National Park. 23-year-old Hardy Nazari was separated from friends on Boxing Day and failed to meet up with them later at a campground. More than 300 people, including Hardy's friends, have been involved in the search. It's taken 10 years, but Australia has finally reclaimed the Border Gavaskar Trophy, defeating India in the Sydney Test to cap off a thrilling summer of cricket. The series ended on Jane McGrath Day, an event that saw millions of dollars raised to support those affected by cancer.
A triumph a decade in the making.
There it is, the debutant does it with a boundary. Been a long journey for Australia.
Bo Webster hitting the winning runs in his first test, securing Australian success in Sydney and a series victory.
It means a lot to the man, it means a lot to this Australian team.
An Aussie team with their hands on the Border Gavaskar Trophy for the first time since 2015.
Yeah, this was one that a few of us didn't have. It's been an amazing series and it's one of those ones that's been in the calendar for a fair while.
Australia chasing down their target of 162 to wrap up the series 3-1. A spirited comeback after a a heavy defeat in the first test in Perth.
Immensely proud. We've spent a lot of time together, the group over the years. It's such a special group. Feel so privileged to first of all have this job, but what we've been able to achieve together.
While the battle was fierce on the field, off it, a colour and a cause united two sides on Jane McGrady. Fuchsia frocks and luscious locks, the men in pink making sure all the greys were gone.
We went to the hairdressers at 3:30 this morning.
These Pink Panthers ready to party. But it was the women behind the McGrath Foundation who stole the show.
It helped me a lot when I was going through my treatment.
Sam Jordan, NBN News.
An Australia Post store in Port Stephens has been closed to customers all weekend after it was targeted in a break-in on Friday. A window was smashed as an unknown number of persons gained entry to the store at Raymond Terrace Central. NBN News understands one parcel was taken and others were tampered with. The store will reopen for normal trading hours tomorrow. 2 people have been arrested over a police pursuit in Kurri Kurri. A 21-year-old man and 18-year-old woman were taken into custody at the rail corridor around 1:30 p.m. yesterday after they were allegedly spotted driving a stolen car. The Toyota Hilux had been reported missing from Singleton Heights at 4:40 a.m. When the driver failed to stop at Kurri Kurri, a pursuit was initiated, with police deploying road spikes at Head and Greeter. The male driver made a run for it, but officers caught up with him on Mitchell Avenue. The pair are now facing 7 charges between them. Multiple Lake Macquarie bottle shops are counting the cost after they were targeted in a spate of recent robberies. Staff say they're feeling powerless in stopping the culprits, who continue to steal hundreds of dollars worth of alcohol.
Icebox Liquor almost $1,000 out of pocket after being repeatedly targeted by a group of young criminals in the past fortnight.
They just walk straight up that street there and then they just run back out.
Employees were left shaken yesterday after a group made off with armfuls of alcohol, including 3 litres of Jim Beam, 1.7 litres of Johnny Walker and 72 vodka cruisers. These are the offenders police are searching for.
Stole 2 from there, and then the rest they just grabbed off the other.
Staff still shaken after a robbery on December 28 when they were targeted twice on the same night. 2 teenage boys making off with Jim Beam, apple ciders and vodka. 2 offenders returning just an hour and a half later to steal Bundaberg rum and Smirnoff stubs. While on December 19, a group of teenagers nabbed 2 litres of Jim Beam and a 6-pack of Summersby apple ciders. Employees say it's left them feeling powerless.
They're not going to listen to it.
Just 8 minutes away at Edgeworth Town Square, it's a similar story.
They get targeted a lot, I think, these days.
The Liquorland robbed multiple times in recent weeks.
People are obviously doing it tough, but they shouldn't be stealing liquor, should they?
Shoppers say they're starting to feel unsafe.
You don't want to be bringing your kids here and seeing, violence.
They're hoping centre management will beef up security.
I don't think I've ever seen a security guard here.
Centuria Edgeworth Town Square Shopping Centre was contacted for comment.
But it's a shame, it really is a shame. Something's got to be done. It's just not right.
Risa Utama, NBN News.
Residents and businesses in Denman are urged to limit their water usage as firefighters continue to battle bushfires in the area. The Yengo Wallamai complex has a number of fires burning in the national park, but there is no current threat to properties. The fire danger rating remains high tomorrow, with fire permits suspended in Cessnock, Dungog, Maitland and Port Stephens until January 12. Volunteer group Clean for Shore is on an important mission in 2025. It wants to reduce pollution in local waterways and educate as many residents as possible.
A sunny Sunday morning at Gosford waterfront, and while many people were kayaking or out on a leisurely boat ride, Clean for Shore volunteers were picking up rubbish along the shoreline of the Brisbane water.
It makes our whole lifestyle, our whole waterways more pristine, better job for the environment, our whole ecosystem.
More than 800 people have volunteered with the group since its inception 15 years ago.
Community groups are generally a group, a youth, a church, youth, scout, guide groups. We also have Indigenous groups that come out with us, but the bulk of our work is schools.
Today, teenage surf lifesavers from McMaster's Beach worked to clean up debris from a capsized and abandoned boat near the Gosford railway line.
Going round to the mangroves and stuff and picking up all the rubbish that we can find, like styrofoam and oyster baskets, found a few of them. It just shows how much rubbish is around this area and how bad we are at putting stuff in the bin.
In 2024, Clean for Shore conducted 96 clean-up operations across the Hawkesbury, Brisbane Water, Tuggerah Lake, Lake Macquarie and Hunter River. 40 tonnes of rubbish was removed over 2,744 volunteer hours. That's the equivalent to 114 days of work. The organisation has set even bigger targets for 2025, including educating the community about the harms of pollution.
If there's rubbish in the gutter and it rains on the Central Coast, that rubbish goes directly into Brisbane water. This is our rubbish tip, and that's what we're seeing on the water. So reduce it, reuse it, and definitely put it in the bin.
Amber Griffin, NBN News.
The Tarragall Outrigger Club has been racing in state events for 2 years and soon it'll host a regatta of its own. The Dark and Young Downwinder is set to attract hundreds of clubs to Tarragall for a race to Norah Head and back. It'll be held at the Haven on March 15 and 16. Taking a look at the weather across the region today, 37 the top in Cessnock and 38 in Singleton. You're watching NBN News. Still ahead, from Georgia to Washington DC, a fitting motorcade to farewell former US President Jimmy Carter. Shocked and saddened, the Prince and Princess of Wales speak out over the tragic death of his royal nanny's stepson. Nicole Kidman breaks down, dedicating an award to her late mother, Janelle. And beautiful scenes from a Central Coast paddle out in honour of a good mate.
Earth's due for a visit.
Energy. Switch to AGL Internet today and join the change.
The Nick Scali January sale is on now with everything reduced across the entire range. Up to 50% off everything during the January sale. On now at Nick Scali.
Potts Removals specialise in door-to-door service from anywhere in New South Wales all the way to WA. We'll move all of your fragile and precious items right to your door. Call Potts Removals and Storage today or go to pottsgroup.com.au.
Could I do the Lucky Deluxe Ultra Wash, please?
Add some thrill to your wait with the thrill of a $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download the app now.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. Save $150 on the Philips XXL air fryer. Save $300 on this Yamaha soundbar, now under $900. Save $200 on the Italian-made Smeg pyrolytic oven. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
Go! The once-a-year summer spa sale is on again. Spas starting from just $4,990. Swim spas from $14,990. Saunas from $2,490. Huge savings store-wide. Indoor-outdoor spas.
APT brand new luxury ships are redefining European river cruising. Enjoy a 15-day river cruise for $8,495 per person, flights included. Meet the experts and save at Newcastle's Holiday and Cruise Expo. One day only, Sunday 19 Jan, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
The Alfresco Outdoors and Heating Boxing Day sale starts now. 30 to 60% off outdoor furniture, 10% off the entire range of Weber barbecues, and everything's in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Boxing Day bargains on right now at Alfresco Outdoors and Heating, now in 5 big locations.
At HV Aluminium, order a Fleximum patio cover screen enclosure or pool enclosure before the 23rd and pay no labour cost. Plus, there's no labour cost on the Paradise Room or the Eclipse opening roof, but only until the 23rd of this month at HV Aluminium.
One person is tonight behind bars after a 3-car pile-up on the M1 near YE in West Lake Macquarie around 4:30 this afternoon. Both southbound lanes are affected with heavy traffic delays. It's understood 3 people have been taken to hospital with what's believed to be minor injuries. Australia's economic performance is closely tied to the Australian dollar, and right now it's in the doldrums. That creates a domino effect which stretches all the way to our household budgets and may impact when we get an interest rate cut. Political editor Charles Croucher explains.
Tonight, the Australian dollar is worth around 62 US cents. That is the equal lowest point in almost 5 years, dating back to the crash at the start of COVID in March 2020. Last year, our dollar was down 8% against the US dollar, 3% against the euro, and even 7% against the pound, even as the UK struggled. This hurts the cost of living for an importing nation like ours, and you've probably noticed the price of anything from overseas is higher. Clearly, it's a bad time for a trip to America, England or Europe, but our dollar remains strong in Japan and New Zealand, including places that use the Kiwi dollar like the Cook Islands. It's also strong in South America, particularly Argentina. While it's tough for travellers, it is great news for our producers, with Aussie products more affordable internationally. Finally, like so much in Australia, the dollar will depend on the Reserve Bank. A weak dollar forces many prices up, making rate cuts less likely. However, if rates are dropping, the dollar will likely follow. It's another factor for Michelle Bullock and her board this year.
Americans have lined the streets to pay their respects to the late US President Jimmy Carter as his funeral procession got underway in his home state of Georgia. The politician and humanitarian died last month at the age of 100.
The path of Jimmy Carter's funeral procession mirroring the trajectory of his life. A simple start in Georgia, bound for the splendour of Washington, D.C. In the morning, the Carter family gathered at a medical centre in his home state, members of his Secret Service detail acting as pallbearers, those who protected him in life escorting his body in its hearse. The motorcade first travelled to the birthplace of James Earl Carter Jr., the small town of Plains, residents gathering by the road to pay their respects. Outside the farmhouse where he grew up, 39 bells for America's 39th president. At Georgia's state capital, officials paused for a moment of silence. Lining the stairs of the building where Jimmy Carter served as governor for 4 years. Then to Atlanta for a service at the Carter Center, where he was honoured as a father, a grandfather and a statesman.
We will spend this week celebrating this incredible life. And a life that I think we can all agree is as full and powerful as any life can be. As someone said, it's amazing what you can cram into 100 years.
He was an amazing man. And he was held up and propped up and soothed by an amazing woman. And the two of them together changed the world. And it was an amazing thing to watch from so close and to be able to be involved in. And I thank you for your service.
Finally, the first chance for the public to say a formal farewell. It will take 3 more days for the procession to reach the US Capitol, a journey that took Jimmy Carter 52 years. In the United States, Lauren Kempe, NBN News.
Thousands of South Korean protesters have marched to the home of the suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol in the capital, Seoul, where security guards had earlier fended off an attempt by prosecutors to arrest him. Yoon is accused of abusing his power and orchestrating a rebellion, following a short-lived martial law decree he imposed last month. His impeachment trial began. To negotiate a deal to bring her home. At least 8 people have been killed and 15 others left injured when fire tore through a food market in northern China. It took crews 2 hours to extinguish the blaze, which broke out in Zhangjiakou City, northwest of Beijing. Nicole Kidman has given a moving speech at the Palm Springs Film Festival in California as she received an award. The actor dedicated the honour to her career and her late mother, Janelle.
Australia's leading lady accepting the award for International Star. But a humbling reminder on stage at the Palm Springs International Film Festival, Nicole Kidman is also a daughter in mourning.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the chance to say, this is for my mom. My whole career has been from my mom and my dad, and they're not here now.
It was September when Nicole's mother, Janelle Ann Kidman, died aged 84. The actress learned the news just after touching down in Italy, where she was promoting her film, Baby Girl. She immediately raced home to Australia.
I'm still grieving my mom. And so I want to dedicate, because I didn't get to do it at the Venice Film Festival.
From the moment the star was born, Nicole has made clear the role her parents played in her success.
It's my whole basis. It's everything I work from. They're the most important people to me in the world.
While some stars attribute their talent to deep pain, Nicole attests she had good love growing up.
I went home over Christmas and I've lost both my parents. So I'm in that place of going, okay, this is different now.
Just as things away from the spotlight have changed, so will life in it. Janelle and Tony were beside Nicole when she won her first Academy Award.
It's a culmination of her efforts over a long period of time.
Overwhelmed. You probably saw me. I just sort of broke down.
Tomorrow, their daughter is a favourite for Best Actress at the Golden Globes. They won't be there, but she will certainly be thinking of them.
But I feel my mama right now, so this is for you, Mama.
Bianca Balzer, NBN News.
A warning to our Indigenous viewers, this next story contains the name of a person who has died. Hundreds have united in heartbreak, gathering at Terrigal Beach on the Central Coast in honour of 15-year-old Luca Bennett. The group paddled out at 10 o'clock this morning, forming a circle in remembrance of their son and friend who was tragically swept off the rocks at North Avoca on Christmas Eve. Loved ones have described Luca as a remarkable teenager who loved his family, friends and basketball. Coming up next, we're live to London for a tribute from the Prince and Princess of Wales. Also ahead, from U2 frontman Bono to fashion icon Anna Wintour, the roll call of stars awarded America's highest honour. The Hunter film creators en route to the Gold Coast's esteemed Actor Festival. Swiping surge, why today is the busiest day of the year for dating apps. And we meet the ball boys and girls ready to roll at the Australian Open.
I'm a Weet-Bix kid. Woo! He's won.
Been 160 years.
And the rest. I've been one my whole life.
Me too.
I'm a Weet-Bix kid. Are you?
Einstein questioned if the fabric of space-time was as durable as Aldi's Mary Jane school shoes, just $24.99. It's special you can buy at Aldi's back-to-school sale this Wednesday. Aldi, good different.
The Nick Scully January sale is on now with everything reduced across the entire range. Up to 50% off everything during the January sale. On now at Nick Scully.
At Officeworks, we won't be beaten on back-to-school prices. Get a Motorola G75 for $497 or JBL Junior 310 headphones for $17. Make bigger things happen at Officeworks.
Domino's delivers more deliciousness with our new snacks menu. There's more must-eat treats like cookie dough stuffed cinnamon bread, chock full of piping hot cookie dough and loaded with deliciousness.
Hit the big time with Hot Shots Tennis, where kids have fun while learning new skills. Equipment and games for every age and stage. The perfect challenge for young bodies and minds.
Start your year of travel with TripADeal. This January, earn 20,000 bonus Qantas points when you book your next holiday. Tour iconic Europe, cruise the breathtaking Caribbean, explore ancient Asia and more. And now take the stress out of booking with pay in installments. Plus, continue to earn 3 Qantas points per dollar spent on every booking, boosting your points even further. Now that's more bang for your buck. Search TripADeal now.
On your 10th birthday, we can send you to prison. Love, the New South Wales Government.
In New South Wales, 10-year-olds can be sent to prison. That is too young. Learn more at raisetheage.nsw.org.au. Authorised by Unlimited Sydney.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. Get up to 25% off our wide range of family-friendly carpet, up to 25% off hybrid and natural timber flooring, and up to a massive 50% off rugs. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
Go! Montgomery Holmes, 1893. She was also a very close confidant of then Prince Charles and remains friendly with the royal family until this day. She and Edward attended Harry and Meghan's wedding in 2018. The King has personally reached out to the Pettifer family to offer his personal condolences. The Prince and Princess of Wales have publicly offered their thoughts and prayers, saying they've been shocked and saddened by Ed's tragic death and all the innocent people who have been impacted by this horrific attack. The 31-year-old's family say they are devastated. All the victims have been remembered in a vigil on Bourbon Street. There's still so much sadness there, but in true Louisiana style, there was also a lot of cuddles and colour as this city continues to grieve. Lauren?
Thank you, Jess. As we enter the height of bushfire season, a warning tonight that some of the state's fire trucks are not up to scratch. The Firefighters Union revealing nearly half the 584 tankers and pumpers are at least 15 years old. The oldest trucks in the fleet are up to 28 years old, commissioned in 1996. The union has also shared images of numerous broken down and ageing trucks, including one which suffered a catastrophic failure on the M5 last September. Political heavyweights, rock stars and fashion icons have come together at the White House for Joe Biden's final Medal of Freedom ceremony. It's considered America's highest civilian honour, and this year there were some surprise international names on the list.
Bono and Biden. An unusual combination, but this was an unusual list.
Not a bad group, huh?
Titans of the fashion world like Anna Wintour and Ralph Lauren. Conservationists, scientists and actors including Michael J. Fox.
He also warms hearts and captivates audiences as a fearless advocate for those with Parkinson's disease.
There were sports stars, ex-Lakers legend Magic Johnson proving a little too tall for the president. 19 men and women were bestowed America's highest civilian honour, the Medal of Freedom. Among them, plenty of political allies. Hillary Clinton received a standing ovation for her work in the public service. And Democrat mega donor George Soros was honoured, his son accepting the medal on his billionaire dad's behalf. Humanitarian and chef Jose Andre also recognised.
His World Central Kitchen revolutionized humanitarian assistance.
7 of his World Central Kitchen humanitarian aid workers, including Australian Zomi Frankom, were killed in Israeli airstrikes in Gaza last year. Today, the outgoing president in good spirits, the ceremony marking the last chance for Joe Biden to highlight the values he holds dear as his time in the White House draws to a close.
So let me just say to each of you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all you've done to help this country.
In the United States, Reid Butler, NBN News.
Across Australia, there are thousands of small manufacturers doing great work but rarely get noticed. That's not the case for one company in Sydney's southwest who are taking their unique product not just to the world, but space.
In a nondescript factory on the outskirts of Sydney, Omni Tanker is doing something no other company in the world does.
We've got a unique technology. It combines a thermoplastic interior and a carbon fibre exterior for the tank. That enables the tank to carry difficult cargoes like Class 8 corrosive chemicals.
Traditionally, chemicals such as acids and bleach are carried in steel or fiberglass tanks that require a rubber lining, but that breaks down and requires replacing. Omni Tanker's technology is the first to fuse a Teflon-like material to carbon fibre, a double wall that's highly chemical resistant, more durable and much lighter.
So high degrees of safety, low maintenance, long life and versatility to be used in different chemicals.
While they've been used in Australia for some time, they're now a global leader, also exporting to the US and Europe. But wait, there's more. They've even designed a tank for the US defence and aerospace manufacturer Lockheed Martin to use in space, a highly complex endeavour.
Space places a great deal of value on ultra lightweight. The demands for a space tank in terms of its ultra lightweight, as soon as you have to lift it off the ground, it becomes more valuable to be lightweight. The further you lift it off the ground, ultimately into space, the greater the value of lightweight.
But none of this expansion could come without financial help and industry expertise provided by the Australian government-backed Advanced Manufacturing Growth Centre, or AMGC. While this is a success story, it's not the only one. AMGC has invested $50 million into another 160 Australian companies, and that's returned $1.6 billion back into our economy and created 4,000 new high-paying jobs. Proof that Australian manufacturing has many smart ideas, the difficulty scaling that for export.
Making things is hard. Making complex things is harder. That is what we need to do in order to be globally competitive. And for a company be successful in a high-cost environment, to survive, to strive, is not an easy feat.
Omni Tanker and its 60 employees are not just surviving and striving, but thriving and proving Aussie ingenuity can take on the world and space. Eddie Meyer, NBN News.
A comedy horror film filmed in the Hunter last year will be previewed on the Gold Coast at next month's ACTA Festival. The Australian Academy of Cinema and Television Arts inviting the cast and crew to sit on a panel and discuss the making of independent films.
Hopefully promote the region to make some really good connections. We're hoping to bring film productions to the Hunter Valley in the future.
The film is set to premiere in Newcastle in June before it's released on streaming services. For those whose New Year's resolution is to find love in 2025, today could be your lucky day. It's the most popular day of the year for matches on dating apps as many singles return from the summer break with new goals for the year. According to Tinder data, there are more than 356
For the Sea Kissers, older sisters Chloe and Maddie helped convince their brother Patrick to work at his first Australian Open.
Your sisters have done this before. What have they told you about it?
It's hard and it's hot and you get free food.
Whose idea was it to rope Patrick in?
My mum's, yeah.
For Chloe, 2025 is her fourth tournament. It's Maddie's third.
If someone gets a better chord than the other person, sometimes it does get a bit competitive.
Try to rub it in a bit.
Laughs aside, the training undertaken by this group is no joke. More than 1,000 applications were lodged for this year's tournament, the best of the best making it through.
These are the elite athletes of ball kidding.
So while the main draw of the Australian Open commences next Sunday, there's no time to rest for this current crop of ball kids with the qualifying matches beginning tomorrow.
The heat, something to keep an eye on for organisers. Ball kids will operate on 45-minute rotations rather than an hour.
At the end of the day, there are kids out in the heat and they're running around, but the main protocol we do is just tighten the rotation.
And while they are there to do an important job, you can't blame them for being a little starstruck.
I really want Coco Golf.
A Sinner for me, Alcaraz. And obviously like Damon or Kyrgios.
Adam Murray's here now with sport. And Adam, it was another incredible day of cricket at the SCG.
It sure was. Good evening, Lauren. Pat Cummins described it as the best series he's ever played in. Australia reclaiming the Border Gavaskar Trophy on day 3. All of the highlights from a historic day at the SCG next. Also aired the Stars keep their Big Bash finals hopes alive. Plus why Nick Kyrgios is not happy about defending champion Yannick Sinner's return to Melbourne.
Honestly, Albie, HelloFresh has made planning feeding time as easy for us humans as it is for you guys. Look, you know I love you, Jarvis, but there's just no way you'd be able to get dinner on the table in under 20 minutes like this. Planning even just a few dinners a week with HelloFresh can help in a lot of little ways. Less stress, more variety, no one getting prickly about dinner. No offence. Beautiful.
Where's mine?
HelloFresh, hello dinner.
Yeah, learners, eh? If you wouldn't do it here, why do it in a car? Safer driving starts with you. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Listen carefully. Because you're hearing the last of the legendary Ram Hemi V8s rolling out. And once they're gone, they're gone. If you don't like the sound of that, get one before they're all gone. Don't miss the last of the legendary Ram Hemi V8s.
The King Summer Sale is on now. Save up to 50% on Australian-designed, award-winning furniture. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Hurry, sale on now.
From country roads, the toughest terrain, and iconic coastal views, the Hunter's Own O'Neill's Tyre and Auto Care have been getting you there and back safely for over 60 years. Because if you've got wheels, you need O'Neill's.
Enter the West Orange Motors Duntry League Classic and you could win a trip for two to any Voyagers. Golf Week. This 54-hole Stableford will be held January 18 to 21. Enter online at duntryleague.com.au/annual tournaments.
If it's boutique, delicious and unique, it must be Morpeth. Morpeth. Dare you to do it in a day.
At HV Aluminium, order a Fleximum patio cover screen enclosure or pool enclosure before the 23rd and pay no labour cost. Plus, there's no labour cost on the Paradise Room or the Eclipse opening roof, but only until the 23rd of this month at HV Aluminium.
Multi-award-winning menswear store Rundle Tailoring is on sale now. Save up to 50% off suits, sport coats and chinos, dinner suits, shirts and more. Dress up for all occasions. Rundle Tailoring on sale now.
Victoria's captain Pat Cummins says this summer's Border Gavaskar Series is the best he's played in. Australia sealing a memorable 6-wicket win over India at the SCG today to reclaim the trophy 3-1.
With the series in the balance, Jasprit Bumrah arrives surrounded by mystery. It wasn't known whether he'd be able to bowl, but first, India still had to bat.
There's the edge.
They didn't last long.
Bold, Cummins too good.
Pat Cummins claiming two, but it was Scott Boland who starred.
Oh, he's got him!
Finishing with his first 10-wicket haul.
Yeah, pretty special, but yeah, 160 to get and then I feel even better.
Australia set 162 to win. They didn't waste time.
Oh, he decides to advance.
Sam Constas and Usman Khawaja flying. They reached 39 before the teenager fell.
Washington takes the catch and something for India.
Marnus Labuschagne went for 6.
Plays it straight to Jaiswal.
Steve Smith one short of 10,000 test runs.
The catch is taken, it's not to be for Stephen Smith.
India back in the contest and Virat Kohli let the crowd know it, sledging Australia about Sandpaper Gate. The Aussies had the last. The World Test Championship final and a series Pat Cummins says is the best he's ever played in.
It's really special. It's such a special sport that we get to play in. It just seems like every year it gets better and better.
Sam Jordan, NBN News.
And the celebrations are now in full swing inside the SCG behind me, and for good reason as well. It's the first time since 2008 that Australia has held all of its bilateral series trophies along with the One-Day World Cup. And what has made it all the more sweeter is the way that they've won it as well. It's the first time since 1997 that Australia has fought back from 1-0 down in a series to claim victory, and that's why the players have already been saying that this is one of the sweetest series victories that they've ever been involved in.
The celebrations were just as animated from the Stars, who kept their Big Bash finals hopes alive with a 5-wicket win over the Renegades. A half-century from Ben Duckett and a blistering cameo from Glenn Maxwell, seeing the men in green chase down their total of 170 with 2 balls to spare. Nick Kyrgios has once again taken aim at Yannick Sinner for his failed doping tests, but this time dragging the 16-year-old son of Australian legend Leighton Hewitt into the feud. The world number one appears to be taking little notice, getting down to work in Melbourne ahead of his Australian Open title defence.
Alex de Minaur making himself at home on Rod Laver Arena, the court he hopes to frequent during the Australian Open if he can take advantage of his highest ever seeding at a Grand Slam. The 8th seed then making way for the number 1 as Yannick Sinner got the blood pumping. The reigning champion's presence in Melbourne isn't sitting well with everyone. Nick Kyrgios calling out 16-year-old Cruz Hewitt for practicing with Sinner after the Italian failed multiple drug tests in 2024. Kyrgios saying, "Love you, Cruz, but this is wild." An emotional Naomi Osaka was forced to withdraw from the Auckland Classic final with a fresh injury just a week out from the Open. Women's world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka is fighting for the Brisbane International title against Russian qualifier Polina Kudermetova.
Gorgeous.
The tournament will crown a new men's champion too, with Czech Jiri Lehečka taking on giant slayer Riley Opelka for the first time. The American still in disbelief at his promising comeback from injury.
Yeah, it's great to be in another final. I didn't think I'd be playing one of these at all.
Team USA is looking for its 2nd United Cup title.
And Swiatek not letting the American get away.
Locked in a battle against defending champions Team Poland in Sydney. Nicole Dunn, NBN News.
After the break, Toby Price survives the first stage of the Dakar Rally on 4 wheels, and the Jets let a win slip at home.
Get ready for school at Mathers with 25% off the best school shoe brands, including Clarks, Rock and Colorado. Mathers, the school shoe fit experts.
Racing season is all about picking your place and positioning for tasty combinations. Ooh, one of them and all of them. Just like a sports bet racing multi.
Now with more places. Combine horses to finish top 5, 6, 7 and get bigger odds.
Thank you, waiter.
More places. New from Sportsbet.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
New year, new backyard. Extend your living space with Australian Outdoor Living's New Year sale. With huge savings across the entire product range, don't miss out, this won't last long. On now at Australian Outdoor Living.
After 50 successful years in business, both Parks Bricks and Pavers and Potts Removals are for sale. Owners are retiring. For expressions of interest, visit our website at pottsgroup.com.au.
Rich lost his gut, but kept his love for sports. Brett lost 29 kilos and saved heaps on lunch. Mark shook the weight and got his mates on board. Jake lost weight on the go, while Matt swapped overweight for poolside swagger. We've helped more than 2 million Aussies shake the weight, and we can do the same for you. The Man Shake, now with up to 50% off at themanshake.com.au.
Experience Vietnam and Cambodia discovery from $2,699 per person, including flights. On a small group tour, cruise serene Halong Bay, explore colourful Hoi An, visit ancient Angkor and more. Search Trip a Deal now.
Get ready to rock at the 32nd Annual Parks Elvis Festival for an unforgettable easy come, easy go celebration. Enjoy tribute concerts, parades and vintage markets. The Parks Elvis Festival, January 8 to 12. Book your tickets now at 123tix.
Gear up for Motopsych and raise money for Camp Quality and kids facing cancer. Join this 3-day motorcycle adventure and explore regional New South Wales on 2 wheels for kids impacted by cancer. Registration closes soon, so sign up at campquality.org.au.
It's big, it's bouncy, it's the Monster Jump, Australia's newest inflatable obstacle course. Jump, slide, bounce into the best family fun for kids, parents and parties. So hop online and book today at monsterjump.com.au and don't miss out.
McDonald Jones' huge homemade sale is on now. Hundreds of designs, all packed with unbeatable value. And starting from just $298,000. Now that's home made affordable. Start today and visit a display.
This report brought to you by Cox Mowers. Cox, proudly engineered Aussie tough.
5 minutes off the lead. They did experience in Hawaii, who are leading the way. Season. A raging Ange Postecoglou has blamed league games.
I'm just really angry as I've ever been, I think, in my career, that they were denied the right rewards. On any other day, on a fair and even playing ground, we would have won that game. Simple as that.
Arsenal also felt hard done by after a contentious penalty for a head clash allowed Brighton to equalise. That match finishing 1-1. Frustration for the Wanderers after conceding an 87th minute penalty to draw 2-2 with the Melbourne victory. Western Sydney sits 7th on the A-League ladder, 1 point above Sydney FC, who fought back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 away from home against Newcastle. The Sky Blues scoring the equaliser in the 89th minute. 3 competition points went begging for the Jets after holding a 2-goal advantage for 78 minutes. Coach Rob Stanton labelling the result another valuable lesson for his young side. Hoping to sing the team song at home for the first time this season, Newcastle used Sydney to its advantage. Aaron Gerd turning in an own goal on the stroke of half-time. The Jets doubled their advantage in the 71st minute.
Aquilina's delivery, dangerous, Taylor! He's done it again!
The result looked like falling in Newcastle's favour, but Sydney refused to surrender.
Late fight backs. And Lawley is trying to instigate it, and Joe Lawley has got one back for Sydney FC.
The visitors remaining calm and composed in their recovery mission.
Curled in, Scott with the punch initially, and the second, Caceres! There's the equaliser for Sydney FC.
The two sides playing out their first draw in 3 years.
We learned another lesson, but we're still, the brand was good today, and the effort was there, and I think the only disappointment again is the result, but I'd be unhappy if people said we didn't play well.
When we're not at our best, to walk away with a point away from home is always a positive.
It's a quick turnaround for the Jets. Rob Stanton's squad will leave for Brisbane tomorrow to take on the last place Raw on Tuesday night.
I think we didn't have the experience to recognise a couple of things, and we paid the price. So it's something I'll address with the players, but again, you don't like learning lessons like that at home.
For the 7th time this season, the Kings have come from behind in the 4th quarter to win, this time beating the Bullets 91-86 in Brisbane. Xavier Cooks and Newcastle's Kwatnoy led the fight back last night, scoring 17 of Sydney's 22 points in the final quarter. Noy finished the match with 15. The Kings sit 3rd on the NBL ladder. A life-changing win for Newcastle trainer Nathan Doyle. His colt, Private Harry, storming home on the Sunshine Coast to win the Magic Millions Sunlight Plate.
I don't know what to say. It's been so hard to get here. I shouldn't have been that confident at 500. I was looking back and he's going 3/4 pace, and I'm like, if he extends like the horse I know he is, I said it's over.
The win was worth $1.2 million. And Redhead's Hugh Sharman has won this year's Newcastle gift at Wallsends Federal Park this afternoon, crossing the line in 12.3 seconds. Gold Coast's Jess Mead won the women's final, beating a stacked field of runners from across the Hunter and Central Coast. South Australian Hayden Petherick won the 300 open feature. Gemma Pollard and Nicole Ogle crossed the line 5th and 6th respectively. And that is our big day in sport.
Thank you, Adam. Stick with us. We'll have all of your local weather details coming up next.
The wait is over. The United Cup final is here.
That was epic.
The USA take on Poland. Tonight, live and free on 9.
The Nick Scully January sale is on now, with everything reduced across the entire range. Up to 50% off everything during the January sale. On now at Nick Scully.
Domino's delivers more deliciousness with our new snacks menu. There's more must-eat treats like cookie dough stuffed cinnamon bread, chock full of piping hot cookie dough and loaded with deliciousness.
The Fred Hollows Foundation has worked in Rwanda here in East Africa for more than 15 years. Rwanda has faced war and other devastating struggles, leading to significant challenges in providing basic health and eye care. Right now, there are more than 10,000 people in Rwanda who are blind and don't need to be. Today, I met Agnes. She'd been blind for nearly 15 years, and she just wanted to see her family's faces again. All she needed was a simple cataract surgery, but she couldn't get the help she needed until now. This is a familiar story for thousands here in Rwanda and around the world. My father, Fred Hollows, had the vision of a world where no person was needlessly blind. For as little as $25 a month, you can follow in his footsteps and help restore sight. Please call 1-800-938-787 or go to hollows.org to donate now. Together, we can end avoidable blindness and help keep.
Turns out, he's great motivation.
We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
New Elixir Ultime, the iconic hair oil infused with wild camellia. Now refillable, unforgettable shine. New Elixir Ultime, the shine of an icon. Castas.
At TAFE New South Wales, we believe everyone has a gift. Find yours in plumbing, carpentry or engineering and help build more homes to support our communities. Enrol today for Semester 1, 2025. Search TAFE New South Wales.
It's Tank World's up to 50% off clearance sale. Save up to 50% off our entire range of slimline tanks and Tank World pumps from 330 to 5,000 litres. More stock must go 10 days only. Think Tank World, 1-800-68-69-70.
Leaf-free Gutter Guard has been protecting Australian homes for over 30 years, keeping gutters leaf-free, fire-resistant and rust-free with easy installation and up to 20 years warranty. So get your mind out of the gutter with Leaf-free Gutter Guard.
Mostly clear skies and sunshine. It's been a cracking first weekend of 2025, and if you're struggling with the thought of heading back to work tomorrow, similar conditions should make things a little easier for at least the first half of the day, but it will be another hot one. Heat is still being drawn over our eastern states ahead of this trough, already starting to generate storms and showers over the continent's southeast. The mercury will remain persistently high throughout Australia's interior thanks to a prolonged period of high pressure. But a southerly will push right up to northern New South Wales from late tomorrow. Combined with onshore winds, we can expect scattered storm activity with moderate to heavy falls for some until the end of the working week. Well, it didn't take long to warm up across our region today, especially inland in the Upper Hunter. We got up to 38 degrees in Singleton, 37 degrees the top in Cessnock, 34 in Williamtown. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow with the chance of storms developing in the afternoon and a significant drop in daytime temperatures after topping out at 39 degrees in Cessnock, tipping over 40 degrees in Muswellbrook and Singleton, and 36 degrees the top in Raymond Terrace. Taking a look at coastal conditions, 2 metre seas with a 1 metre swell on Hunter coastal waters. A morning low tide at 7:42 before an afternoon high just before 2 p.m. Sun to rise at 5:51 and setting at 8:06. Sunshine in Newcastle for most of the day tomorrow, a top of 34 degrees. Showers arriving there on Tuesday through to Wednesday. We could receive up to 30 to 40 millimetres over those 2 days before a drop in temperatures. 39 degrees the top in Scone tomorrow, and there is the storm activity on Tuesday. 27 degrees the top then, a drop right back down into the mid to high 20s rather, and that should see us through to the middle of the week. We could receive potentially heavy falls in Gosford on Tuesday as temperatures drop back down to 24 degrees. A similar top there on Wednesday with showers easing on Thursday. And finally tonight, she lived through 2 world wars and the sinking of the Titanic. Today, Tomiko Itooka, the world's oldest person, has died at the age of 116. Tomiko was born in Japan in 1908. In her younger years, she was a volleyball player and later managed a textile factory. She's survived by 1 son, 1 daughter and 5 grandchildren. And that is NBN News for this Sunday. Thank you for your company from all the team. Good night.